All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Warriors of Chaos, led by Shaper of Fate, facing off against the Greenskins, who shall be helmed by G-Dog here on the road to Val's Anvil, and a very rare sighting of Grom the Paunch. Almost never see him nowadays. Of course, he was very, very meta in the old land battle days of old in Warhammer 2, but kind of has fallen out of popularity. I think the most meta choice probably is going to be Azag. Now, as far as the Warriors of Chaos army goes here up on the hill, it is going to be a couple Marauder Horsemen with some mobility via the Hellstriders of Slaanesh, which have been buffed in this patch. So they were one of the most broken units on the launch of Warhammer 3, and then they got nerfed really heavily, and now they've been buffed up a little bit, so I think they're in a pretty good spot now. And yeah, solid little anti-large tool, very good against Greenskin mobility, like Spider Riders, Wolf Riders. They'll hard counter Squigs, be able to, flank charge Trolls. I think that's a great choice from Shaper of Fate. The core army is going to be Marauders with some Chad Chaos Warriors mixed in, and I think Chaos Warriors are quite a steal for their price point, which I believe is $750. You get a pretty damn stalwart, good quality infantry unit. Archy, the Everchosen, going to be lurking on the hill with 80 melee attack and 517 weapon strength. If he can get his clutches on Grom or that River Troll Hag in any sort of a dueling situation, he's going to annihilate them in combat. He's a really, really good fighter. And now that you can bring a Nurgle character in reserve to come in and heal him with the Fleshy Abundance, I think he's quite a bit better. Aside from that, we do have Marauders with great weapons and just a bunch of chaff with some Chaos Warriors mixed in. The real kind of heavy hitter is going to be Archy, obviously. Now for the mighty G-Dog here on the other side, it is going to be a front line of Goblins and Goblins and Goblins. And the armor piercing is going to be coming from Squig herds as well as a Troll herd. So Stone Trolls are decent against Chaos, right? Because they have missile resist against some Marauder Horsemen, and they can certainly bash any of the armor effectively. The River Troll Hag, Spirit Leech, and Buna, the standard kit, which has been the meta since Warhammer 1. And on the other side, it's going to be Squigs and Trolls. So yeah, very much like a Goblin-based army, not going to be using Orc Boys or Black Orcs or Biggins or anything. Just Goblins with the hard-hitting stuff coming from their beasts and scary creatures of the mountains, I suppose. But Warriors of Chaos do rush up. The Shaper of Fate able to grab Objective 1. Now going to be hustling towards Objective Dose to try and grab that. And we will see if he's going to get his clutches on that. Most likely will be able to, because even if the Gobos want to move up here, I think that the Hellstriders would be able to punish these Squigs pretty hard. And if Archy were to rotate down there, he could do some work as well. But the objective does go to the Warriors of Chaos here in just a second. It should. There it is. It's been captured by the Warriors of Chaos. So immediately, Archy, the Everchosen, going to be grabbing objectives 1 and 2. Meanwhile, on the low ground, we do see the Greenskins getting their little Squigs down here to capture this objective. So they're going to be sitting there nice and cozy. While the first engagement of the battle looks like it's going to be taking place up here as Grom the Paunch. That is a bold strategy, Cat, and I don't know how that's going to work out. You got to admire the guy. That's very ballsy. Man, don't realize how big Archy is. I mean, Grom is a big character, but Archy kind of dwarfs him on his new Chaos Steed. But Spirit Leech going down and Grom getting worked on. Oh my god, look at the HP damage on Grom the Paunch. He probably popped, yeah, Slayer of Kings. So his weapon strength is literally 870, and he does fire damage, which Grom is vulnerable to. So the Greenskins certainly felt very confident in that engagement. They're like, all right, we're going to get in here and, use Spirit Leech and Magic and our big Stone Trolls to bash you on the head. But I think that the Warriors of Chaos come out a little bit ahead there. Granted, Archy doesn't have healing on the field right now. And Grom the Paunch does have passive healing, so maybe he's going to be able to retreat. We'll have to see how this engagement goes. But it looks like Archy is going to be staying in the fight, trying to go after the River Troll Hag as well as the Stone Trolls here. And we're going to see who comes ahead in that situation. Over on Objective Dose, the Warriors of Chaos are going to be in a precarious situation. They don't have mass of their own to help defend their infantry against all the trolls and whatnot. So here, the River Trolls are going to be taking them to pound land. The Squigs will be annihilating these Marauders. And the Warriors are also going to be standing alone against the Squig. So yeah, the Squig herds are very, very cost effective. How cheap they are, which I think is 400 gold now. A Squig herd and Marauder will really, really do quite good for itself. Now, back here in the Duel of Fates, it looks like both Lords are actually kind of low. Grom the Paunch making another round, but he's playing really dangerously. 100% should have kind of sent him down to the low ground towards Objective 3 and kind of tried to trade down there, because now the Lord of the End Times is going to be coming for you. Although he does get bonked pretty hard by the Trolls, and his HP is also not in the best spot, but still, oh my god, Grom the Paunch got deleted. His source code taken out of the game by the Lord of the End Times. And who doesn't love seeing Archy do well? He's one of those characters that has gone from meme status to being good, and now he's in a okay spot. I think after some of the Chaos updates we've gotten, he's a pretty respectable fighter and has good magic spells, like Burning Head and Spirit Leech are two of the better spells in the game. And Greenskins are a faction that really, really struggle when their Lord dies. The value is 38 against 29, and really most of that is against Grom. We do see the Giant River Troll Hag being routed back, Hellstriders moving in, and I really do like the Hellstriders after their recent buff in 5.3. I think that they're going to be pretty solid here. Chaos Warriors also should be able to grind down the Broken Tusk Mob effectively. Trolls on their way back in, but the Greenskins do have battlefield control. Objective 2 is in their clutches, as is Objective 3, and they're pretty heavily out-trading the Warriors of Chaos down here, but Chaos is going to be bringing some tools back now. We do have the Armored Chaos Trolls, which will be the massed that Chaos needs to be able to defeat the Squid Curds and other tools like that. Boar Boy Biggins are going to be cruising for a bruising. Meanwhile, we have Archy the Ever-Chosen fighting the Stone Trolls here, and the Exalted Hero of Nurgle, who I believe was brought on a Rot Piece, coming off a nerf. They did get a stat nerf. I believe it was 5 melee attack off the top. So yeah, they definitely deserved it, I think. But Archeon trying to get the kill on the Troll. Troll's going to be running away. It looks like she is healing again. But Archeon's going to be looping around the site. The Shaper of Fate looking for the bread here. And is he going to be getting it? Is the Slayer of Kings activated? It is. Oh boy, so 2,500 down to 1,600. That's like 1,000 damage. Oh, you gotta love it. I just love hard-hitting characters. I gotta start maining Warriors of Chaos again. They were one of my mains like for ages. But man, that River Troll Hag just gets crumped by the Lord of the End Times, and he's up to 2,600 value already, so that's a really, really nice showing. Middle objective, it looks like Warriors of Chaos are starting to get the momentum here. We are going to be seeing a lot more routing from the Greenskins. Obviously, their Lord has fallen, so there's going to be a penalty. When you look at leadership, the Lord dead is -10. When the Lord first dies, it's -16 for a short period of time, and then there's a penalty after that, which is stabilizes at -10 unless you bring your Lord back, which is probably not worth it for Grom, although for Greenskins maybe it is because of how pitiful their leadership is. But the Boar Boy Biggins do tackle those Armored Chaos Trolls, and they're going to get routed back, but more and more Marauders are on their way up from the Frozen Waste, so we see 2 of them arriving here. Meanwhile, on the high ground, it's looking pretty bleak for the old Greenskins up here. Pretty much a full rout. The last of their infantry, these Goblins, and a couple decent units. Broken Tusk Mob and Trolls are both units that you probably would want fighting Archeon, but man, he is an unholy raid boss, and I believe he causes terror if you bring his crown. Let me go ahead and double check. Yeah, so he does get terror and he gets leadership as well. 100% an auto take. I mean, unless you're playing against undead, but even against undead, it makes your allies immune to psychology, which is really, really powerful. So I think a lot of people kind of sleep on Archeon. I think he's a very good fighter. Although if you're going to bring him, I think you always want to bring a Nurgle caster in reserve just with Fleshy, just in case he gets really beat up, because otherwise, he's really expensive. You don't want that to be going down like that. Grom the Paunch, he does regenerate. Makes sense for a troll character to reemerge. But, I mean, he ate Troll Flesh. You guys know the lore of Grom the Paunch. But Archeon might be able to kill him again if he's not careful. The Stone Trolls do have Degraduns as here, so that's a big melee attack buff. They're going to be hitting hard, and are they going to be able to push back the Warriors of Chaos here? Hard to say. Down here on Objective 2, the Greenskins have somehow held on to this. It looks like there was a Manticore called in. Manticores historically have been used against Greenskins because of their terror and they're cheap. But the Orc Boar Boy Biggins with WOG active are certainly going to be putting some crumping down on him. And it looks like the Greenskins are holding really, really aggressively onto this objective. Obviously, he wants to kind of maybe posture for an objective victory since he is getting out-traded pretty heavily by the Warriors of Chaos, especially in the Heroic department and the Leadership department. Marauders chasing down Death Creepers. Death Creepers do have okay stats. Arguably, they could turn and fight, maybe win that fight, but it looks like they're going to be trying to create some distance. And the Exalted Hero of Nurgle trying to do the Ever-Chosen proud, going to be chasing this bad boy down with his armor piercing. And basically, he's probably not that much more, he's probably not much cheaper than Grom the Paunch, kind of getting a legendary lord here, basically, in terms of combat. The Chaos Lords of Nurgle have made a bit of a meta comeback as well. We've been seeing Nurgle players use them quite a bit. But if you're going to be playing Walk, I mean, you got to use Archeon, you got to use Kolek. Those guys are awesome. Or one of the champions of Chaos are always a good time as well. All right, so we do see Grom the Paunch getting smashed up again. I'm sure this player, after the match, was probably thinking about, okay, I probably should go Azag. And Azag is the meta choice against Warriors of Chaos for any of you aspiring Greenskin players out there. His Spirit Leech spam is really good. You just kind of fly overhead and Spirit Leech Archeon the entire game, and then, or whatever their Lord or vulnerable target is, and then you can Alpha Strike weak things. He's a very good bully character. So Spirit Leech going down from the River Troll Hag. That is a good target by G-Dog there, not bad at all. River Troll's trying to fight, but it looks like they're finally going to be routed, and the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle has arrived. So does he have Fleshy? He does. Fleshy Abundance for Archeon. And it looks like Archeon has been healed. You see how his healing cap, that little bar on his health bar, is kind of encroaching there? That means he has received some fat, thick heals. Now down towards Objective 3, we do see the Marauders arriving and more Marauder Infantry, which normally split pushing, or like going wide like this and pushing all 3 objectives can be dangerous because you can start to lose the fights that you're really focused on. But when you're ahead of your opponent, it's a good way to close out the game. Right, because you have extra resources because they're behind and you're able to kind of spread your forces and get some work done. So this objective's going to go. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Greenskins, tap out here. They're very much on the back foot. Archeon is being hunted by a legion of trolls, but he's about to get a triple cap. And what little advantages the Greenskins did manage to get are going to be diminishing. As the anti-large Hellstriders do arrive, looks like a bit of a blundered charge order, but even still, their anti-large bonus will be excellent against all these units here. Archeon's going to be providing some stats, and they still do have some Marauders mixed in there who are helping to win this fight. And Archy will most likely be turning around, going after Grom the Paunch here in a second. Down here on the low ground, we do see the Greenskins, a bit of a desperation hold. They get some Squigs over here. Will the Squigs beat both Marauder units? Probably not both in a 2v1, especially with the Manticore coming down. I do like that kind of utility Manticore. If anybody tries to kind of flank push you and their Lord isn't nearby, and the Terror Route could be a very, very real option, right? So once again, Archy the Everchosen going to be bullying Grom the Paunch into the Shadow Realm. Man, this is rough. He's getting pushed into the locker pretty bad here. He is currently wavering, negative 25 leadership. Looks like he's in big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. And that's got to seal doom for the Greenskins, right? If he dies, the whole army's going to start routing, and there's a tap out. So Archy straight up put that game on his back. The Greenskin build wasn't bad, per se, except for Grom. Grom is not really good against Warriors of Chaos. He's not good against big armor, unless did they buff his AP this patch or something? We'll have to check. I don't think they did. But yeah, he's very vulnerable against pretty much like Kolek, against Archy. Most of the Warriors of Chaos Lords are going to give him a lot of trouble. And, there's a fair amount of armor on the Warriors of Chaos roster, which he's not very good against. So I think that you save money. You cut both these characters, you get Azag, and then you're going to be in a much better position, right? Because you can dictate the fights. You don't want to fight Archy. You just want to Spirit Leech him the whole game and let him get ground down by your trolls and things like that, and then probably engage. But yeah, Broken Tusk Mob's a good choice. Yeah, certainly some nice stuff here. For the Warriors of Chaos, it was a fun build. I mean, Archy, he put it on his back. 3,700, he certainly carried that one. Nurgle Caster in reserve is always badass. Oh, Wild Hell Cannon, that's kind of an interesting choice. But Hell Cannons were used against Greenskins back in the day to kind of snipe some of the error boys. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I would be an enjoyer of the Hell Cannon. But overall, I did dig the build. I thought it was quite good. And that's it. You guys take care of yourselves. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the Lord of the End Times, just getting it done. We'll see you around. Awesome game by Shaper of Fate and G-Dog. And we'll see you guys on the other side.